Right, we're into our 10th season as Bordeaux manager. We've got a lot to look forward to. We've managed to get them from the 4th tier into the Champions League in 9 seasons. Happy with that. It's now hunting down PSG. We didn't have much money to spend, so it's going to be what goes out can then come in. Let's go and find out how we've got on. So we've got Champions League, we've got our Coupe de France, we've got Ligue. We need progression or, top 3, top 2. These next couple of years are going to set us on a path, hopefully, for bigger things to come. So it's a case of keeping hold to our best talent and just improving the squad where we can. Let's go and find out how we've got on Season 10 of Bordeaux. Right, we're going to do all the outs first, and then we'll do the ins, and then we'll go through the progress of the season, and there's a couple of transfers that have happened throughout the season, which has changed a few things, but the first one, as you can see, is Dean Henderson. He's retired. He literally didn't play any games for us. He did. He played 3 games and let in 6 goals. He let in 9 goals in L5 comp, so he was ready to retire. He was our number 2. We needed to strengthen with the goalkeepers definitely this summer. Brendan Aronson has probably been my worst signing, bearing in mind that we signed him at a time when we got into Liga. He played the first season and was pretty shocking, and then has played in our second team in the 3rd, 4th, 5th tier, whatever that is, on £5,000 a week. Now, that isn't much. Like the last 3 years, we haven't bothered. But the fact that I signed him for 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5-year deal with a player that wasn't great. He was a little bit of a squad padder, a squad filler, could play in numerous roles. Yeah, he's probably up there with my worst signing of FM24, despite not paying a penny. It was just one, you normally can get rid of players, can't you? I thought he's American, some English championship team will come and snap him up, but no. And we had to keep him for the full 5 years. He was available for a free transfer listed for the best part of 3 years, and no one once came in for him. Doué, who we spoke about last season, said his contract was going. I had no intention. We've outgrown him a little bit now. As you could see as well, he's gone to Le Havre. He's had a really good season for them. Renald Perrion, our young, exciting player at times. He had a couple of really good seasons for us. He's ended up going to Brest in Liga. Not a great season for him. 1 goal and 3 assists. Ethan Mbappe as well. He did a nice little job. Once again, he was French, little bit of a squad filler. Did his job over those, 3 or 4 seasons. I think last season, look, he never even played for us. He went on a free to Saint Etienne. I think they were now in League 2, and had an average season. But this is where it got a little bit interesting. So we were a little bit worried about losing Brems. We were worried about losing Tamara. And then at a time when we were negotiating a new deal for Brems, and we managed to get that done, Bayern Munich just came in for Agbonaton and just said, here you go, take the £51 million that was on his release clause. And it was one of those deals that, when you're flicking through and you don't really see it because it's automatically accepted. The next point I saw it was when he was ready to go, and I couldn't even say yes to that. It was literally done. He was happy to go. It was like a 24-hour kind of thing. Fickle personality, so it'd be interesting to see how he develops over the next few years with them. But that has given us 51 million. We get 100% of the money coming in as well. So, yeah. 3rd choice striker, potential. Like the thing is, I wanted to backfill, so I was expecting to lose a Brems or a Tamara, and then Ogbonaton would go up, and then we'd bring someone else in underneath him. So to lose that one is not much of a blow, but we need to be really careful that we don't lose absolutely everybody in one summer. But halfway through the season, we did let Theo go. He was leaving on the end of the season anyway on a free, so to get 4.4 million from him, it was about 30 grand. I absolutely love the boy. He came in and did a couple of seasons for us. No, more than that. 3 seasons he's had with us. 3.5. He's made a really decent contribution. Good average numbers in terms of goals and assists. So, yeah, I'm nice that I've had him. I've been able to enjoy him. I hope for FM25, we could still make something out of him. He'll be at he's at Cordoba in the game. Liga 2, Will he still have them attributes? Probably not. So it's been nice to know you, Theo. We'll hopefully get one more FM24 save again, actually, before FM25 comes out. Yeah, we'll have time. Will our paths meet again? Hopefully. And then January started kicking in, and it's got a little bit spicy. We've let Martin Avikia go. We were after trying to generate some money quickly. I thought we really need to strengthen in certain areas. So he went to he went to Qatar anyway. We doubled our money pretty much on him. He's made a fantastic start for them over the course of the season. He ended up being a bit part player for us. We've strengthened. He was one of those players that was like, yeah, he can come and do 2 or 3 roles. And then in the end, they don't end up kicking on just because they don't play enough. He wasn't a specialist in any area. So to get that bit of money in, he was on a lot of money as well. I think he was on like 60 grand plus. So Good business, I think. And then Tamara went to Barcelona halfway through the season, £81 million. But as you can see by the screenshot, it's rising to £132 million. As I said, he had that 67 million release clause, but it had to be paid up front. Barca couldn't do it. So we've managed to get a lot of money in. A lot is going to Independiente Medellin. They're going to be buzzing with that. But as you can see, we've been given an initial fee of about 55 million, I think it was. And then we're getting 25 million over 20 games. And then another 26 million after 30 games. So that is a lot of money that is going to come in over, you would have thought, the next 12 months. And I was more than happy with that. I thought, this is a long-term save. We don't need absolutely everything to come through straight away. I think it was like 54 million up front, another 25 million, another 30 million or whatever it was over a certain period. And then, So the money is going to come in eventually, and it's going to drip free through over the next maybe sort of like 2 to 3 years. So more than happy to do that deal. It's obviously sad to let him go because he's been absolutely tremendous. He made a really good start for us as well. Not so good in the second season. So last season, even though he did so well for us in Europe, scored some big goals in big games. He didn't actually score that many, but then he's found his feet again in 12, in 14. But look, it was going to happen with some of these players. There you can see, look, we're owed January 2034, another 8.5. Yeah, so we're getting 8.3. So it's just going to tick up. We'll get the full set at some point. We may even sell the clauses as well, because highly likely he's probably going to stay at Barca for a long... You would have thought stay at Barca for a long time. It's also 30% of profit. And when he's signed for 132, there's not going to be much room for profit, is there? So we might just even cash in on that and give us a bigger transfer boost going forward. So with that, we needed to bring a striker in. And while we were looking at strikers to bring in to help bridge the gap halfway through the season, Federico Pug decided to go to Real Madrid. Now, he didn't have a release clause. Big bids were coming in around 30 and 40 million. I didn't want him to go. He wanted to go, obviously, because Bordeaux to Madrid is, a pretty decent move. But we decided to be really stubborn and see how much we could push Real Madrid for. And we've managed to push them for £62 million, with potential add-ons raising to £78 million. Like, he's good, and he would be, he's at a good age. He is a bit of a superstar, but I do think with that, we can bring in maybe 3 or 4 players to then try and sell on again and make some big money. And it really turns us over. It was halfway through the season. We kind of thought at the time we could carry it. Can we bring someone else in as well to not replace him, but to, essentially to replace him? Ready-made replacements are a little bit difficult, but we're getting another £15 million over another 7 appearances. That's going to happen. And money over time. Like, it was just a superb deal that we couldn't turn down. So with all that, the big 2 transfers came in like halfway through the season. So work had to be done in and around sort of like Christmas time, January time, and throughout the rest of the season to bring some players in. And we ended up spending a lot of money. The transfers out total was 215. The transfers in for the season, 214. So where have we spent all that money? Well, the first one was that goalkeeper that we spoke about in the last episode. He had a release clause of 13.25. We've made it stick. And as you can see, 28 conceded in 27 league games. That is a good little number in terms of goals conceded. Really happy with him. Like, he's worth a lot of money. He's only 24 as well, so he's going to have plenty of time to grow, get even better, and hopefully with us a long time. 51k as well. These average wages are just sneaking up on us. We need to make sure now. Champions League football, absolutely every single season. The next one in, losing Pau, remember, a little bit tricky, so we needed a backup right back, and this dude is kind of French. He's been in France all his time. I don't think he was born in France. Yeah, he was actually French, but like a lot of them do, they see themselves maybe not good enough for France, so they move on to these African countries. So Senegal for him, not a great season, but as you can see, 6.9, that's all right. That's average, isn't it? And that's what he was only going to be. A backup player, playing in a few games, across the board, free transfer, 20 grand a week, can do a couple of jobs, can play centre-half. If we go to a right-back or right wing-back, then he can cover those. At the start of the season, we had an injury crisis. Our 2 main goalies both got injured. New signing Enrique was injured. I think he arrived injured, actually. And then our other goalkeeper got injured in pre-season. So we bought Ignacio de Rubarina in, who is pretty good. He's only ended up playing a couple of games. Look, he played the first 3 league games of the season. He's retiring at the end of the year. We just had to get someone in. I was a little bit worried about playing our 4th choice goalkeeper. And then we also brought in Claudio Garayaldi we'll go with. Difficult, because when I'm playing these games through the season, I don't have to sort of like say his name. I'm not commentating on it as much as I would if we were sort of like doing weekly episodes. So that's the first time I've actually said his name out loud, if that makes sense. £12 million, release clause done. We've had him on our radar for a long time. Now, the idea is that we have very attacking left with fullbacks. Obviously, we've got Bulgaria and Georgiev there, very attacking going forward. So, the idea is that if he's injured, this guy comes in like for like, tremendous physicals, 6 foot as well. I do love a big 6-footer in terms of a fullback sometimes. Dribbling good, crossing good, marking good, tackling not great, but the idea is that he's bombing forward on that left-hand side. And as you can see, he's done all right. A lot of substitute appearances in there, not contributing to any assists yet, but a decent player, I think, to have in the squad going forward. He is wanted, though, by Al Hilal. We've, the potential there to double our money if we have, but I really don't want to start selling these players. I want to keep him and other players with us. It's getting to the point now where I'm in and out like we've done this year with loads of players in. I don't want to have to do this every season. I want us to try not sell anybody. Maybe sell one just to help that bank balance a little bit, but then just keep strengthening rather than in and out of players all the time. So hopefully we can keep the interest from Saudi off. Now, one of the reasons why we let Puig go in January was because we actually signed this dude, Paulo Nogueira. He has an Antonio Rudiger look about him, doesn't he? Just without the absolutely crazy hair. Very strong on both feet, 6'2", youngish look. We signed him at the age of 21. He's had a fantastic season for us as well. 7.12, 4 goals from a centre half. Can play in a couple of positions as well. Can play right midfield, bizarrely, but centre half we're looking at doing a job at right back for us. But centre half, good pace. I do like to have one of them that can run. Needs to improve in these areas here a little bit. His passing's not great. His tackling's okay. Marking, heading, yeah. But I'm just relying on him. Really good mentals though, look. Really good mentals. Good concentration, good determination. Positioning not bad. He's on the improvement as well. Some arrows. I don't know why we've got his arrow up for crossing, finishing, dribbling, long shots. We don't need improvement in those areas from you. But anyway, he looks like whatever he's doing, he's working hard in training. And for the price? £22 million, another South American in at Bordeaux. Remember Paulo Roberto? We spoke about him in the last video of him being an absolute, probably a shoe-in to sign, especially if we're looking at losing like a Tamara and Brems. Attribute-wise, he's absolutely flown. We've paid 15.5 for him, release clause, and look at his value now at the age of 23. He's 6 foot, he's got everything. Pace, stamina, agility, obviously good, decision, determination, anticipation. Not very aggressive, but crossing, dribbling, finishing, first touch. He can play any of those 3 attacking positions. We're looking tactical tweaks and changes. He can play in a whole host of different positions, and he's had a tremendous start. 23 goals, 12 assists, 35 goal contributions in his debut season for us. He's been capped by the national team, an absolute worldie. We have now got, at the start of the season, we had him, we had Brems, we had Tamara. Things were looking absolutely fantastic. And then it got to January where we had to sell Tamara, Puig, him. We got rid of him. So things had to change and we need to bring some players in. And we've been looking at this guy, Jesus, for a long time. He's had a 22 million release clause for a couple of years and no one has decided to take a punt. We took a punt on it because we had all that money from the deals from Puig and Tamara. I thought 22 million. It's now crazy that I'm looking at 22 million thinking, yeah, that's cheap and we can do a deal. He's had a really good start for us. 5 goals, 3 assists in 14 games. Shadow striker, which we've played a lot. He can also do a job as well as a attacking forward, deep line forward, false 9. So it gives us options and have someone of really good technical quality, I think is really important. Vision good, passing good, technique. He should be an absolute worldie for us. And at £22 million, absolute bargain. But we weren't done. Paulo Jose has come in. A little bit of a replacement for sort of like Tamara. This would then give us the option of moving Roberto up front, either in a front 1 or a front 2, while playing Jose off the left, Roberto on the right. £14.5 million from Palmeiras, made a really good start, scoring a lot of goals for them. 31, 29. He's done extremely well. Matched his release clause once again. Really good. He's very similar to Roberto in terms of where his attributes lie. Not as pacey. We've got a little bit of hard work about him. Different footed as well. He's going to be really good. Maybe coming off the left, coming off the right. He does really want to be an advanced forward. 14.5 million you would expect at some point. Maybe has he missed the boat? We've signed him quite late. We signed him at the age of just turning 25. So strange that these players kind of end up staying at their Brazilian clubs for a long time. But it's worked in our favour. And Paulo Jose is in and had a really good start for us. And the last one was actually brought in April time. Look at his value. How much did we spend on him? £4.5 million from Uruguay. That was his release clause. And can play anywhere across the back line. I am thinking of centre-half. We just need to improve them. We now got him. He was sort of like the later replacement to Puig because we had Nogaro and Puig, and then obviously Puig went off to Real. So we needed to strengthen somewhere. And once again, I was unsure about going down the route of signing these European players. I thought, let's keep to what we're good at. And then my lovely scout in Uruguay found this one for me. And yeah, look, he's going to be brilliant. And whatever system we do, playing a back three, playing a back two, covering in all three positions, a handy substitute, rotation option. Really happy with it. He's only done a couple of games for us at the end of the season, but probably bigger things to come from Oscar Garcia. So that was a lot. Look at that page. That is a lot to kind of process. And I said we don't want to do that every single year. We've got to the point now where I don't think we need to sell players. If we look at our budget, 15 million in the bank, we've got 65 million pounds in transfer budget. I don't understand where money goes a lot of the time. Like, we've made lots of money, but it isn't telling us at the moment. So that's a worry. I think we're kind of at a Champions League level now. We need that Champions League money just to be coming in every single season. Talking of Champions League, let's go and see how we did in our debut season. Not debut, because they've been in it, but the debut in the save. It's been a long time. As you can see by the group stage, we were not given the easiest of draws. Now, AGF, thank God, they've given us one. I think obviously we were fourth seeds, but to get Lyon away, which isn't great, is it? Because it's Lyon. We don't do well against these bigger sides in Liga away from home. Real Madrid at home, Liverpool away. Wolfsburg's an annoying one because that is one of the games that you probably want at home, but we've been given that away, so that's a bit of a flip of a coin. Ajax at home would be one that we'd be looking at. Bayern Munich away is going to be tricky, and then obviously Borussia Dortmund at home. Yeah, we weren't expecting. Luckily, the board didn't want anything. Be competitive, blah, blah, blah. Enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. So we weren't expecting big things. It would be absolutely amazing, though, if we could get out of the group. Things started pretty well, though. We absolutely smashed AGF, which you'd probably expect. Like, look at them. Superliga, Danish, not massive. You would expect that with the calibre of players that we've got. 5-2. In Brunham, Roberto, Georgiev and Brems. And Brems even missing a penalty. He's got a habit of missing penalties this season. We then travelled to Lyon, got absolutely done. 1-1 at half-time, 3-1 down, Brems scoring another goal. But yeah, that was an annoying one that we've managed to meet them in the group stage. I don't think that's a thing, is it? I think is that a little bit of a bug in my save. I'm pretty confident that you can't play teams from the same nation in Europe, but in the league phase anyway. Yeah, I was disappointed that we got drawn against them because it was just one of them games that I just didn't fancy, and it proved to be right, losing 4-2. It then got worse. We got absolutely tanked by Real Madrid. First half masterclass look. They only had 9 shots on goal as well. We beat them near. We didn't beat them for XG, but it was very, very close. Only 0.03 in terms of that. But Gula, Camavinga, Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, all scoring. Yeah, kind of put us to the sword and realised that we've got a lot of work to do if we're wanting to make that next step into Europe and being a little bit of a force. The 2-1 at Liverpool was encouraging. Tamara, before he headed off to Barca, scored. I think this would have been one of his final games for us. Numa, whoever that is, a tremendous... Oh, no, he's not a regen. No, he's new on me, but he's 30 years old. Oh, he's come from Lyon. There you go. And Darwin Núñez on the score sheet. As you can see, yeah, it looked all right at halftime. We kind of lowered our tempo again. We slowed things down, but it was not enough. 22 shots on goal for them. They more than deserved to pick up the win. But then we rallied. A 3-2 win over Wolfsburg away from home. They equalised on 83, which was absolutely annoying. But then Paulo Roberto went down the other end. 3-2 win away in Germany. And as you can see by the statistics, more than deserved. And then the big one, Ajax. Difficult game, you would think on paper, but that home advantage has definitely worked for us. And a 3-0 win. Own goal, Tamara Penn. Pastor sealing it on 83. Look at the stats. Absolutely deserved. And then an absolute thriller. Mohamed Agbonaton. Remember him? That dude that we signed, that we had to sell at the start of the season for 51 million? He scored two goals in the first half to put Bayern Munich 2-0 up. We then equalised. No, we got one back just before half-time. We equalised on 63. We then scored on 75. And at that point, we were 3-2 up against Bayern Munich. But as FM does, 85 Elise and 87 Roll. And we were beaten 4-3 with an XG as well for us. Look at that, 2.61. And then the final game, Dortmund, one of those games that we need to win. Jesus, Brems, getting 2, Adeyemi scoring early on, but we managed to win an impressive performance. Maybe Champions League wins are vital as well, just because the amount of money. Was it like 2.5 million or something to win? So super important that we rack up as many wins as we can. Not really bothered about where we finished, but we came 17th. Higher than Bayern, Ajax, and then the other teams you'd maybe expect to finish higher than. But it's nice that in the first year we've managed to qualify out the group. Money. But with that, we had to play this draw, and it was obviously going to be difficult with our seeding. You know, some big clubs in there: Man United, Arsenal, Man City, all in a row. Bayern, we wouldn't really want to play over two legs. I'm not sure. Is it seeded, this one, or is it just a random draw? Because it would be nice to sort of have looked to have drawn in one of these teams down here, but we didn't. We got one of the worst in Arsenal, and pretty even game, but Alejandro Garnacho, who left Man United bizarrely quite early on at the start of the second, he's played 2 seasons at Man United and then went to Arsenal for £86 million. And he was the only goal scorer of the game, 1-0 win. I thought, look, that's going to be tricky to overturn that. And overturn it, we didn't. 1-0 again, 16th minute. A little bit of a killer, but they kicked on a little bit, did Arsenal. And look, we reached the end of our journey. Impressive first season performance, I think, qualifying out of that. Losing our main man in Tamara, losing our main centre-half halfway through the season. So we've done okay. So how did we get on in Ligue? I think it was going to be difficult to a certain extent, even though we've definitely strengthened. Our squad is bigger. Champions League games requires full strength. League requires full strength. Can we do it over the course of the season? Our European campaign has gone into the end of February as well. So, yeah, how did we get on? And you know what? Not bad. We were never really in a title race. Once again, PSG, look, they've won it 10 seasons. Well, more than 10 seasons, but 10 seasons in terms of the game. All 10 years of the game they've actually won. And 6 points. Marseille is strong as well at the moment. But scoring, look at that, 93 goals across the course of the season. That's by far our best. Do we get more points than last year? Yeah, we've progressed. 3 more points, playing Champions League. Champions League football again, with that bigger budget of £65.81 million as well. And during the course of the season, we had some huge wins. A 7-0 over Nice. We've got a 9-0 over Nancy. Is it Nancy? Did they say Nancy? And a 10-0 win over Angers. So that is a lot of goals. Now, disappointingly for us, once again, the PSG game away from home, the home game as well. Max Aarons scoring a 78th minute equaliser after we'd gone 1-0 up. But with that, we had a really strong end to the season. And as you could see, through the course of the season, we were changing tactics. Still the 5 at the back, so the back 3 stayed for the full season. So we kept a little bit of consistency there, but we're trying to change them attacking options with having Tamara, Roberto and Brems at the start of the season, losing Tamara, then bringing in players such as Jesus, who was more of a number 9. We went down the route of a 5-2-2-1, having a left player and a right player. Sorry, having a left player, look, the Roberto or the Jose, and then having a shadow striker in behind a complete forward because we had that new player in Jesus, could do it, look. Our new signing, Jesus. Jose could go out there, Roberto would go out there, and that was just giving us a little bit more attacking threat, I thought. We've moved the midfielders up. We've only got a complete wing-back on support. It was just nice to see the right wing-back going round. Jesus as well helps out the wing-back a little bit and then joins as a front two. So I kind of feel like we've got a system ready for season 11. So all in all, quite a good season. Knocked out in the quarterfinal by Ruben Amorim's Monaco in the French Cup. I'm not too bothered about that now. We've won it. We've ticked it. You know, it's not making us any money now anymore compared to the other competitions. It's all, we need to constantly get Champions League football. I'm a little bit worried that Amorim has got his Monaco side together. Lyon, despite having few money issues under Mikel, have got going a little bit, and it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a 5-horse race every single season, I think, now. This is the season, though, where Benjamin Brems came to life. We've managed to keep his deal. No one's come in. No one wanted to activate that 92 million, which was good. With last few episodes ago, we spoke about managing to renegotiate his deal while the big clubs were sniffing around. So he hopefully now is here to stay. 31 goals, 24 in the league, only 22 years old. He's going to be 23 at the start of the season. Attempts over head kicks, we haven't seen any of them so far in his goal catalogue for the season, but he's a world-class player that we've got. Roberto as well, 23 goals for him, 35 goal contributions, we said in his first deal. Danielson's come into it a little bit. I'm never not quite sure what to do with him. He's just nice and tidy. And that's why we've kind of kept him away from those real attacking positions, because he doesn't do enough in terms of goal numbers. So he's now just playing as a deep line midfielder or what's he playing? No, he's doing actually the Mazzala role alongside Clancia, who, remember, we signed halfway through last season, has done extremely well for us. 12 goal contributions from him. Debuz is an interesting one. He was our backup right back last year. We lost Pau, obviously, who went back to Real Madrid after his loan spell. He's then come in and done exceptionally well. 12 assists, 4 goals for the season. But Liverpool are sniffing. And I'm just thinking, we can't keep selling these players, but he's worth a lot of money. It will be a case of, have I got another player lined up to sign? We obviously need to sign a couple because he is a little bit of a specialised position. So I need to make sure that if I am going to let him go, has he got a release clause? No release clause. That makes it a bit easier. So if I have to keep him, I have to keep him. But this kind of, because we don't get the reliance on TV money and prize money from the Liga, it's all just based on Champions League, and we might have to just go for a couple of seasons where we just sell some players. As long as we've got players coming through, Balde, his replacement is 31. So we're looking at having to have at least 2 signings, right wing back signings full back signings over the next 2 seasons. And it's a lot of work. So we'll see what happens with that. Players leaving the club. Amodabadele. Don't have to say his name. Abomadammadele. He's going. We decided not to offer him a new deal. The last time I looked, I thought, let's just see a couple of weeks ago, end of the season, let's just see where he's at. But he wants to go. £31 million. I was wanting to go, 45 grand a week, £21 million is still worth. I did try and transfer list him in January when I knew that he was going, but no one's coming for him. It's a shame to leave because we're playing with that back three. We might end up having to change the system a little bit depending on what we can do in the summer. But to have him in for free, 2 seasons, more than happy with that. He's 31 years old, 32 very soon, so maybe it's a good time to let him go, bring someone else in. We might be able to bring someone else in at that price. Those sort of wages on a free transfer. Claudel will go. Aruba Bima, who we spoke about at the start. Fowry, our goalkeeper, who's been with us since the start in terms of, he was our first season regen. He's finally going our 4th-choice goalkeeper. And that's about it. There's a couple of people wondering. It's probably the season we let Eric Boonham go because he's worth a little bit of money and he's 31, gonna be 32. Had a really good season for us again, but it's about making money a little bit this one. We need to make sure we get maximum value for these players, and it will be the time to let him go. Anyone else wanted? Gamara's not quite settled yet. He's had 2 seasons with us, not quite settled. Julien, our main centre-half, though, is really come alive this season. Since we lost Puig, apart from his injury that he's taken after the season, he's improving, can be a little bit of a holding midfielder as well. So if we go down that route of us changing system, he could be a big part of it. Right, I am going to put that tactic available for the Patreon, so go check out the Patreon. If you want to support me as a creator and the channel, that would be absolutely wonderful. So go see the Patreon. I think £3 a month, you get all the tactical downloads and potentially future quicker uploads in terms of unreleased content and stuff. Early access, basically. Yeah, so go check it out. Thanks for watching. Next episode will be out. Season 11, Champions League football. I think, we really need to make a real tilt on this title. Thank you very much for watching. Smash a like. We'll see you later.